All right,
We're good.
yeah, good. So we'll open the May 19th, 2025 Select Board meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, welcome to the first Select Board meeting in our new digs. Looks fantastic. Ellen, thank you for all your work for getting this up live on YouTube for now. Appreciate that. That was great. Mr. Welch, thank you for putting all these tables together.
Not a problem. Glad to do it.
Appreciate it. All right, so we begin. Approval of manifests for May 12th and May 13th.
I'll make a motion that we approve the manifests for the payroll of 5/12, the payroll of 5/13 and accounts payable for 5. Thank you.
I'll second that.
Motion in a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Did everybody have an opportunity to review the public and non-public minutes from our May 5th meeting?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes, the public meeting minutes of 5/5 and the non-public meeting minutes of 5/5.
I'll second that.
Motion in a second, all in favor? Aye.
Steve Welch abstain.
Reports from boards, committees, departments. Start with you, Mr. Welch.
Well, I was, had a busy weekend, so I didn't get a chance to talk to, Recreation Department, but I'm assuming everything went fine. I'm sure the fishing derby was, fantastic.
I stopped in, well, my son had practice at noon, so I was here like.
Cast the line in?
What's that?
Did you cast the line in?
I did not cast the line in. We had a busy morning, but she said it was a pretty good turnout.
Good.
The weather didn't look like it was going to be great, so I think people want to shine away a little bit.
Yeah, that's all right. And, recycling center's doing fine, so. That's about the extent of my.
Thank you.
For CIP, we were going to have a meeting last Thursday, yeah. But we postponed it because we didn't have appointees from all of the committees. We do have appointees from planning board. You have for 2 people,
So it's Skip Severance and
Adam Ryan.
Adam Ryan, thank you.
Does that complete your list?
Well, no, that's planning board
And then-
members. We need
Who you
budget
missing?
committee people.
Budget Committee, Donna Davis is the alternate and Carol Martin is the new
Okay,
budget committee representative.
all right. So that should be it then?
Mhm.
Okay. And if there's anyone from the public want to participate in that, they are welcome. Just, I guess, email Ellen.
I
But,
believe Gene Reed is still going to stay on the committee, so he's our only public member right now.
All right, so we should be able to schedule a meeting then. All right, excellent. And planning board met last Wednesday. Quite a bit going on there. We did elect a new chair. Dirk,
Nice.
yeah. And Skip Severance is the alternate, which was the previous meeting before that. I don't know what else. I think that's it.
Wonderful. Master Planning Committee is meeting a week from Wednesday in this room from 6 to 8. So it's our first meeting in about 6 weeks.
Nothing really to say. I swung by and saw some of the highway department, but I haven't spoken to Steve directly. But from everything I've heard there, making as much progress as they can, kind of everywhere. If it's raining, they're doing other things. If it's dry, they're grading. So they seem to be making good progress.
From the police department, we have been cordially invited by Chief Fawn Woodman to act as grill masters, this entire select board, on August 5th for the National Night Out from 5 to 9. We'll
Do
have
we
those-
have to, like, interview for that position? Make sure.
No, just accept the honor.
We're gonna want to qualify folks
Check it with
first.
Chief Curry.
Right.
It is Tuckaway Burgers, so they were pretty tasty last time. So she's invited us to come and be grill masters. August 5th from 5, delivered at the end of June or beginning of July. One is a replacement of the vehicle that was totaled in the April accident, and the other is part of the regular rotation to replace cars. And then it'll take another month or so to have those completely outfitted. Her budget is good, staying in line. And she did request that in an effort to improve communication everywhere, which we're really working on, that anyone who hasn't signed up for Nixle to do so, you can do so on the town website. We can certainly put more information out about that, but it's a way of communicating information, particularly about road closures, emergencies, et cetera, and perhaps other things as we go on. It's NIXLE. You can just put in your contact information and alerts will go out to you automatically. The Budget Committee met on May 15th. We welcome newly elected members Jim Stevens and Lincoln Lavoy. We appointed Carol Martin to the seat vacated by myself when I moved to the Select Board. And confusingly, I will remain on the Budget Committee as liaison to the Select Board. Owen Friend Gray was elected Chair and Donna Dane as Vice Chair, and meeting dates will be announced. That is all.
Very good. Thank you. Town Administrator's Report.
Okay. What was supposed to be on tonight's agenda and is not is the public hearing for the acceptance of the PREPA grant award. We were still awarded, but the noticing requires that we put it in a paper of general circulation 7 days prior to the hearing. Unfortunately, it did not make the union leader until Wednesday last week, so we were 2 days short of the requirement, so I had to renotice it. I've rescheduled that for your next meeting on June 2nd. There is a public hearing scheduled for Wednesday, June 11th at 6 p.m., and that's to discuss the petition for road layout that was filed by Kevin Bassett in 24 regarding the layout of Channel Street. Channel Street is a section of, so we are going to hold a public hearing for that petition. And that will be on a Wednesday, so it's an off night, but we'll be doing it just before the planning board hears his application for a new subdivision on that same street. Then there will be another public hearing based on discussion at your last select board meeting. I've scheduled it, it's a two-part hearing pursuant to RSA 41:14-B. So it will be on June 2nd and then June 19th. So your next meetings to review proposed amendments to the ordinance to prohibit parking on public ways where signs are erected. So just branching off the conversation from last meeting about having the ability to ticket people that choose to park in the beach parking area that don't display a valid permit. And then also to address parking along Deerfield Road and Flutter Street. So this is the ordinance that's in place for parking at all designated locations where there's a sign erected, but there was discussion to amend the fee associated to that right now. Presently, it's $25. I think in the past it was $50 that had been reduced to $25. And I'll just need some guidance from you as to what you are looking to propose amendments. You know, it was talked as a partial board to increase that fee amount up to $100. Is that the consensus of the board?
Seems a little excessive.
Seems high.
I'm good with that. You know, we do want to discourage that parking and, you know.
Yeah, but let's put
It's not only gonna be at the beach, it's
reasonable.
going to be wherever signs are erected. It's
So
going, so it would address Fundy Cove.
Can we separate them? That fee at the parking to be,
I think
Like
if we
$100
rewrite the
and-
ordinance.
right, so if we rewrite the ordinance, we could have 25 a place and $100 at the beach.
You don't want to do that. That's
Why not?
way too convoluted.
It's not that
It
complicated.
is not
And-
that
and
complicated.
It's not a unique issue to the town. There's many other towns that have things where it is strictly as you put it, like a deterrence. It's a deterrence method that can be there, and then, I mean, it only takes somebody getting one $100 ticket to be like, okay, I'm not gonna go there. But
Yeah.
other areas, I mean, we're gonna have the public hearings. I mean,
Right.
not gonna jump ahead of
But
it too much, but.
I need some type of content to be able to display to the public hearing, like what the purpose of the hearing is for, what the proposed amendments are. So people can determine whether or not they want to be present at the public hearing and provide their input.
So it sounds like the proposal would be to review different parking zones in the town. So
Yeah.
probably getting a list of where the parking signs are right now and then.
I mean, if we have an area that requires a sticker, which would be the beach and the recycling center, for some, I mean, it could also be used like, hey, you're at the recycling center, and you're not supposed to be here.
That's a good point.
Here's $100 fine.
Right. That's a good point.
Like, I mean, we give them out. They're for the townspeople. There's a method for people that, require additional ones to get them. It's really to
But now you're
just,
talking two different things.
Well,
it's
that's parking.
it's still into the,
At the recycling center.
no, but it's called the prohibit parking on public ways where signs are erected, all right? So I mean, with the signs there, it's kind of the same thing. It's gonna say like sticker required.
We
If
could
they,
have a separate ordinance to address the recycling center.
In fact, it sounds like, from what Matt's saying, I would agree that we could use the same ordinance.
if the
If we have
ordinance
two
says
zones.
where, because when you come in, it says sticker required as soon as you go to enter the dump.
Right.
So you're saying if somebody parks to remove the trash from their vehicle and they don't have a sticker, we could
And maybe that,
fine them $100.
Correct.
I mean, people are supposed to have the sticker to go to the beach, and I don't know what the exact ordinance says, so again, I think we're getting cart before the horse here, like, the intent is to make it so that people understand, and it is a actual deterrence to not make it so that we don't have access to our beach, so let's get rid of what is being claimed to be a problem. If we have not written a lot of tickets, and this isn't nobody having an issue, where there's gonna actually we had a couple of call logs that people were actually out of town at the beach behind the lock gates when the police come, be like, oh, we'll let you out. And by the way, here's $100 ticket for being in there. Congratulations. And it shouldn't be much more than an ordinance fix.
I think it sounds like two separate things. And one's in relation to having your sticker for.
Potentially, it should be all, we should be able to put it all in the same ordinance for our local town, right?
It's in there now, because it says in designated areas where a facility decal is to be displayed, it is incorporated into.
So
the
there's just
ordinance.
separate out.
So we have two facilities that require a sticker. So we could charge for a sticker zone and a non-sticker zone.
I mean, I don't think they're writing a ton of these.
Right, it shouldn't be that
So
difficult.
I don't think we're like, again, this is just a deterrence method. If there's a sign there that says you're gonna get $100 fine, I know the spot in Tamworth when you're going by, Chicora Lake there, and it is very clear, like, this area, residents only, and they have a sign saying what the fine is if you go that way. Like, they don't really want to deal with it, but you don't see anybody going down that way because cops are gonna be like, are they gonna go down there and check every sticker? Might somebody go there? Maybe. I think the intent is to, again, provide enough deterrence that most people that are looking for a quick beach there, and they're like, I'm not taking $100 fine, and they just keep moving on. $25 is usually something that you'd be like, I don't even care, whatever, give me a $25 fine.
Okay. So I will draft those thoughts.
Just a reminder, I will not be at that meeting.
Okay. June 2nd. Correct.
Only the first one, you'll be the second one.
Correct.
I want record saying I prefer it to be 50, but
which is all part of the public hearing. We're not
Right.
setting anything. This is
Right,
just,
we're just,
she'll put out some proposals and then we'll have a meeting and people will tell us what they think, yes or no. But again, this should just be,
they might tell us 250.
I don't think so.
it really shouldn't be a thing.
All right, site work has started in preparation for the paving of the walking path. It's going to go from the community center gym out to the new, well, I say new, but our play area where the new playground equipment is and soon to be our new shade structures. So the highway department is working on that in their off time. They're doing a great job just making sure that it's all prepped and ready to go. And additionally, renovations are underway in conference room 1, which is why we're in this space a little bit preliminarily. We were hoping to have the audiovisual installed, so we would have better sound quality, better video feed onto channel 22, but unfortunately we're not quite there yet. We're still waiting on some components to arrive before they can complete the install, but just because they are going to be doing some pre-wiring in here, so I can at least get the old system up and running. But for tonight and probably the next meeting or the next couple of meetings that we have between planning board, zoning board and the select board meeting, we might be streaming YouTube live just temporarily until we can get channel 22 back up and running. But we'll make sure that we put the announcements with the links on the town webpage.
Until then, how is it, is this being streamed now?
It is being streamed, so you have to go to YouTube.
No, it's fine now, so for next.
Correct. So as I was saying, renovations in conference room 1, the new counter space for the rec office is actually already built and fastened. They're just putting the finishing touches on it, and then they have a printer and computer workstation. We have the entry door that's going to be blown out on Wednesday to give them access from that space into their existing office space, which is going to become more of a storage room for all of their recreation needs. And carpeting, carpet squares, same carpet squares that are in this room will be installed June 2nd to the 4th. They're going to do the prep work and then have them completely installed and out of there by June 4th. So things are just starting to move along a lot quicker, which is a good thing because it's been a long anticipated project, and rec was really hoping to get it wrapped up before summer camp starts at the end of June. So it looks like we're making some good headway there finally. So here we are. We're not an official ribbon cutting ceremony for this room. Hopefully when we get to the point with the AV and, a little bit more finality, then some decorations, a lot of white space. But this is just a preview of things that have been underway for a couple of months now. So it's good to see some progress. And then just for a formal announcement, regarding Mindle Road, the town, the developer who has a new subdivision on the Raymond portion, as well as a resident, there's been a lot of pressure to the town of Nottingham about the town of Raymond about, the question of whether maintenance will continue. Obviously, it's been a topic of discussion on our side. So they signed the resolution. They acknowledge it as a private road. They're not going to accept it any other way. But I did draft up a letter from the Board of Selectmen to consider sending off to their Board of Selectmen, maybe just requesting that they consider it an emergency lane, just because there are a lot of residents on our side, as well as some on Raymond's side, that it would be really nice to give them some assurance that an emergency vehicle could find their way there, and it wouldn't be a matter of Nottingham spending its money on another town's road. So I did include that in there. I don't know if you wanted me to actually read it into the record, or if you would like to.
Yeah.
It's in the signature file.
So this is the letter drafted for the Board of Selectmen for the town of Raymond. Dear members of the Raymond Select Board, we are writing on behalf of the town of Nottingham to open a dialogue regarding a half-mile section of Mendel Road that extends from Mountain Road in Raymond to the Raymond-Nottingham town line. As you may know, the voters of Nottingham accepted Mendel Road as a Class 5 town-maintained road in 2021. However, the beginnings lies within the town of Raymond. While Nottingham has maintained that we should not continue to do so without proper authority, the segment falls outside our jurisdiction and is privately owned by landowners within Raymond. The legal constraints of this arrangement prevent us from entering into a standard intermunicipal agreement with Raymond, much like we have already in place for Moores Road, since neither municipality holds ownership or jurisdiction over this portion of the road. As a result, we are seeking a viable and cooperative path forward that addresses the need of both towns and the residents who depend on this shared access. To that end, we respectfully request that the town of Raymond consider designating this section of Mendel Road as an emergency lane under RSA 231:59-A. Doing so would allow the town of Nottingham to formally enter into an agreement to maintain a roadway for public safety and general passability, particularly for emergency access. This designation would also provide clarity and legal protection for both towns, helping to avoid piecemeal agreements with individual property owners and potential exposure to litigation from Nottingham taxpayers who may question the use of public funds for out-of-town maintenance. We understand that this is a nuanced issue, and we would welcome the opportunity to appear before the Raymond Select Board to discuss the matter. We're hoping to find a solution together that keeps the roads safe and accessible for residents, while also being mindful of the responsibilities and boundaries that each of our towns has to follow. Thank you for your time and consideration. Please feel free to reach out to our town administrator, Ellen White, at 603-679-5022 or ta@nottingham-nh.gov to coordinate a time for further discussion.
Any thoughts, comments?
Good letter.
Do you think they'll entertain us coming to the meeting?
Absolutely not. Well, I don't know. I mean, I think that they would probably entertain us coming to a meeting, but I don't see that it's going to make any headway, but a shot's worth it.
You already made the resolution, didn't they?
Yes.
Yeah.
And that was before we could really have this conversation. It sounds like they knew it was coming.
Right.
I wonder why. We haven't discussed it or anything. So if you are okay with the way that letter is written, I would just be looking for you to make a motion to sign and send to their Board of Selectmen who meets
And next week.
same nights you do, so they will be addressing it again on June 2nd.
All right, I'll make a motion to sign the, what's the second?
It's the second bullet if it makes it easier for your town administrator.
Yeah. All right. So I'll make a motion that we sign the May 19, 2025 letter to the select board of the town of Raymond regarding Mindell Road.
I second that motion.
Motion in a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Okay. The next letter that's in your signature file is our engagement letter with Plodzik and Sanderson, professional accounting firm that handles our financial audit on an annual basis. This is the same firm we've been using for several years. We engaged with them again to complete the 2024 after there was no response received to the request for proposals submitted for audit services. So this is just to proceed forward.
What are their names again?
Plodzik and Sanderson. So that engagement letter is in there. Obviously, we're well underway. They're probably about 60% complete on the audit now, and then it's just a matter of going through the rest of what they need. Maybe one more field day in the office. So I'd be looking for a motion for the chairman to sign on behalf of the Board of Selectmen.
Okay, make that?
Yeah.
Give me that letter. All right. I'll make a motion to request that the chair sign on the behalf of the select board the engagement letter with Plodzik and Sanderson, PA for the 2024 financial audit.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
And just in from the Conservation Commission, they have, at their last meeting, they recommend the appointment of Drew Stevens to the Conservation Commission. He was formerly an alternate. I think his term was going to expire in 2028, but Dallas Huggins' position is expiring this year. Drew is looking to take over that regular member position for expiring in 2028, and then Dallas is going to move down into an alternate position. So I'd be looking for two motions. One, to appoint Drew Stevens to the Conservation Commission as a regular member, and Dallas Huggins to serve as an alternate member on the Conservation Commission.
Andrew's term expiring in
2028.
Who's the alternate?
The alternate is Dallas Huggins.
All right, I'll make a motion to appoint Drew Stevens to the Conservation Commission as a regular member for the term expiring 2028.
Second?
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
I'll make a motion to appoint Dallas Huggins to serve as an alternate member of the Conservation Commission. There's no date on that one.
I think it's also a 3-year term, if I remember correctly. Just looking at his last
2028. I guess.
2028.
Okay.
Okay. Second?
Motion and a second.
Any further discussion?
Second, sorry.
Aye.
Aye.
It's 7 o'clock. Do we want to move into our 7 o'clock appointment? Is Mr. Lancaster here? Grab a seat. Hello.
I live at 11 Rocky Hill Road in Nottingham. Are people familiar with that road?
Absolutely.
It's a half-mile road with a
Sorry,
cul-de-sac.
you said it's 11 Rocky Hill?
I live at 11.
Okay.
It's about a half-mile long with a cul-de-sac at the end. I've lived there for almost 9 years now, and I see people driving faster and faster and faster. We have about a dozen children that live in that neighborhood, or their grandparents take care of them. And we're talking anywhere from toddlers up to, there's one child that rides one of those, or it's actually several of them, of the battery operated type cars. And I'm afraid someone's gonna get hit and either seriously injured or killed. So what I'm wondering is if the town could put, there's no speed limit sign on the road. So I'm wondering if we can put a speed limit sign on there, either 20, 25 miles an hour. It's a half-mile road, so to make it 20 miles an hour is not gonna be a big infringement on someone's time. And then possibly one of the children at play type caution signs, one of the yellow signs. I talked with the parents of, there's pretty much 6 parents that have children in the neighborhood. They're all in favor of it. I talked to a couple of other people that live across the street from me. I live pretty much in the middle of the main drag, what we can call it a main drag. And they're in agreement with it as well.
Is it mostly like your neighbors that are speeding up? Because I'm familiar with the road.
Yeah, well, there definitely is one family, including someone that rides an e-bike about 30, 40 miles an hour, but they're actually leaving the neighborhood. I think about 2 years ago, I called the post office to ask them to have the postal carrier slow down because it just flies and comes around and it's like less than 2 minutes. That's still a problem. There's lots of delivery trucks in there, all the Amazon and FedEx and everything else. And I actually talked to someone at the police department. I asked them, I don't know, a couple of months ago, whether or not the speed limit on Ledge Farm Road actually pertains to Rocky Hill Road. And I can't really remember the answer, but I did ask them if they could show up more often and park there pretty much, sometime around when, after school gets out. But I haven't really seen, and I'm retired and I'm a homebody, and I haven't really seen any significant presence at all.
No, that section of Ledge Farm, that's 25 already, right?
I
That's
think
that
it's
part.
25, but even that, I think, is pretty fast for, a neighborhood that basically about every, probably less than 100 feet, there's a driveway.
I did check with Chief Von Woodman, and she did state that all town roads are 25 miles per hour. She recognized that there was that one, there was a couple of them, I think Garrier, that one, and maybe a third one were missing speed limit signs altogether, so we did get those on order through New England Barricade. And then there were a couple just like 30 or 40 mile an hour speed limit signs that we were gonna get, so. I think in terms of getting that placed, every town road should have one.
I'm not opposed to having
Well,
children
harm
on
me.
signs, in neighborhoods like that, especially if they're,
There's already,
they know, one way in, out neighborhood.
It should be marked as no alcohol.
Right, right.
Speed limit 25.
Right. Can we do?
Children
Is there
shouldn't
any
be
reason
being
not to do it? Is there any reason why it couldn't be posted at 20?
would we have to, because the select board voted on all class 5 roads being
That's a different,
25.
have to be a different meeting.
Right.
So start by getting the,
That hopefully cuts down the people.
let's see what
Because
happens.
some of them go in and go, oh crap. And then
Right.
Fly
Just
out.
joyriding and
All right.
let's see where this road goes. Oh, goes fine.
It's a road to nowhere.
And we've decided on the children at play as well.
I'd be fine with that.
Yeah, I'm fine with
So
that.
I think they're in some
They
neighborhoods.
are, they are in some neighborhoods and some of them are super old and
Well,
Children may be gone now.
children may be gone.
Find a
And
shot.
then I have, while I have a captive audience, 2 quick asides. One for 4 years, like this is the 5th year since COVID, because I had to find something to do during COVID. I took my trash can and walked up from Rocky Hill Road up to Nottingham Square. And on an annual basis, I get between 1 and 1.5 full-size trash cans full of mostly beer cans. So I don't know if.
That's on your road?
No,
Ledge Farm.
no, not on ours. What's interesting
Wow.
is wherever it's in front of a house, generally you don't see much. It's
Wooded.
where it's wooded. And that's only from the, most of the road has stone walls. It's only from the stone walls to the road. For the most part, I don't go over the other side. The other thing is I keep getting to call the town. About a month ago, there's several, curvy signs. I don't know what the official word is for them. That shows that there's a lot of curves ahead. Sometime last fall, I don't know if someone hit it, the sign that was closest to
square.
the square, but
Oh,
it's basically, it was
Okay.
propped up against a tree for like months, and that's disappeared totally. The one at the base of the hill, just before you get to the last set of curves, that either the town is updating their signs or that's been stolen. And then the one further down the road, there's 3 of them between Ledge Farm, between Rocky Hill and Ledge Farm Road. The third one, it looks like someone could get the bolt off the bottom, but couldn't get it on the top, so they tried to rip it off, so it's bent upwards. So there's significant missing signs on that road. Missing for damage.
Take a look at that.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
David Lancaster, LANCISPER.
On to correspondence.
Okay. I will just announce what you had for correspondence. I'm sure that there will probably be discussion once we get into the Town Beach topic, but just to generally announce it, Shauna Samus had emailed on May 6th regarding the Town Beach. I had provided her with a response acknowledging receipt of the email and thanking her for her thoughts. I don't know if you want to make any further comment toward that, or if you want to wait till you get to the Town Beach discussion point, or did you have any further comment that you wanted to add?
I don't.
I'm biting my tongue.
My further comment would just be for anyone who is wondering if I've taken an oath of office or if I'm biased or if I'm ethical. I hope that my actions have proven that I am. Comments that I may have made in the past before being a select board are because I did not give up my right to speak as a community member. And I share my thoughts, I hope, quite transparently with everyone. I think if you know me and if you've seen my work, particularly on the issue of the Town Beach that I live close to, I hope I'll be able to change your mind.
Thank you, Sharon.
There was another email received from Maureen Camiola on May 8th. The subject was holding our town leaders accountable, the Nottingham Beach controversy. Again, I provided a response acknowledging receipt and that it would be addressed during the select board meeting tonight. So again, any further comment that you would like to make at this time? Okay. And lastly, under the Board of Selectmen public comment correspondence, Jim Hadley, who is the gentleman that is researching the Co-Brown return of surplus funds, he had sent a lot of documentation. He addressed the Co-Brown School Board on May 14th and provided a summary of that as well as some accounting that he's done in his research. Other email correspondence has been received. Nicholas Miller sent a letter via mail on April 29th regarding the concern about poor road and sidewalk conditions in Nottingham, encouraging that we invest in sidewalks for safety. Additionally, Ken Robichaux had emailed, he's the town manager in Raymond, just letting us know that Raymond signed the resolution acknowledging Mindle Road as a private road. And Skip Severance had emailed May 15th regarding the special events licensing policy. He had update to that policy. So when there is a nonprofit organization applying for a special event, that maybe we waive the fees for that. So on that same subject, you know, we're on this twice now. I think probably at this point we should bring the policy up for your review and determine whether or not you want to update it. But I do understand where he's coming from. We do have a Purple 5K coming up in October. It's the second annual event for pancreatic cancer awareness. That is solely just to raise money for the benefit of that. It's not a profit making. So that would be an ideal one that, you know, we should probably consider, because the attendance is upwards of, I think she had 400 last year that attended. You know, she would be looking at like $100 application fee as part of that licensing policy. So the Purple Hope 5K is, it's right around that time.
So, yeah, so get that onto like a future agenda topic.
Yes, yeah, so what I'll probably do is just address it under general business for your next meeting. You can at least review the existing policy and start the discussion.
Because, yeah, I mean, one of the references Skip made was that it seemed about like after we make a decision, kind of, the way it was written was a little off. So it'd be good to review that policy.
Okay. All right, I will add it to your agenda.
And I think the other thing they suggested was having the fee go to a nonprofit as well.
That was, yeah, that was two parts that Skip mentioned.
That's all I have for my report tonight.
Any questions from you?
Thank you.
On to the very popular topic of the town beach. So I'll just read a statement that Ellen had put together for me. The select board appreciates the cooperative efforts of all involved and the valuable public input that we received throughout this process. We listened, and as a result, the beach will reopen for the days and hours that residents have come to expect and enjoy. That said, it's important to remember that trespassing is a criminal misdemeanor, even if it only happens once. Keeping the beach open, safe, clean, and enjoyable for everyone depends on all of us working together and respecting the rules. Looking ahead, the select board will take time in the fall to review how things went this season. We'll look at the data collected by our beach monitor and feedback received. And if any adjustments are needed, we'll make them. Most importantly, we'll share any key updates with the public, including plans for the 2026 season. I think that was one of the bigger pieces that we recognize, is that we were late to the game this year on that, not addressing it in the fall. Someone want to take half of this? I'll take half.
Yeah, I'll take half.
So the opening of the town beach, after gathering public input and consulting with Nottingham Parks and Rec, the Nottingham Police Department, and other key stakeholders, the select board is pleased to announce the following. The Nottingham Town Beach, a recreation area for residents and their guests, will open on Saturday, May 24th, Memorial Day weekend. The beach will be open daily from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. through Monday, September 1st, 2025, Labor Day. From Memorial Day right through Labor Day, Steve.
Yeah, what are the hours?
9 a.m. to 7 p.m. And some important reminders: all access to the beach must be through the gated entry located near the intersection of Flutter Street and Deerfield Road. Entry, whether by foot, vehicle, bicycle, ATV, or any other means, is strictly prohibited when the gate is closed. Parking is limited and is available to residents only with a valid parking sticker, available at no charge at the town. Parking is prohibited on Flutter Street and Deerfield Road. Vehicles parked in these areas will be ticketed and fined to be determined. Amount to be
Well,
determined at future
that's
meetings.
$25 right now.
Yeah.
That exists.
That's true.
The Nottingham Police Department will continue regular patrols of the beach and will respond to all emergency and criminal activity based on call priority. Stay on the marked access trail. The land on both sides of the trail is private property. Trespassing is a criminal offense. Do not walk on or attempt to cross the dam, which is owned and maintained by the New Hampshire Dams Bureau. A part-time beach host attendant will be present to help keep the beach area clean, direct non-residents to appropriate recreational areas, collect usage data, educate visitors about invasive species like milfoil, and ensure users understand and follow town ordinances regarding beach use. Please note, use of the town beach, access trail, and designated parking area is at your own risk.
Want me to take over?
Yes.
To help keep our beach and the waters of Pawtuckaway Lake clean, safe, and enjoyable, we ask for your cooperation. The following are strictly prohibited: dogs, fishing, launching of paddle boats, kayaks, canoes, or other watercraft, alcohol, drugs, or fires, smoking, littering, please follow a carry-in, carry-out policy, and trespassing when the gate is closed or on posted private property at any time. Thank you for helping to protect and enjoy one of Nottingham's natural treasures. Issued May 18th, 2025 by the Nottingham Select Board, Ellen White, Nottingham Town Administrator, Courtney Duball, Director of Nottingham Parks and Recreation, and Fawn Woodman, Chief, Nottingham Police Department.
And I will also say that we did, Ellen and Courtney did interview and hire a beach attendant that will start this weekend.
Yes, yep, she'll start on Saturday. She will be the beach opener on Saturdays, Sundays, and then also there on Thursdays and Fridays between the hours of 10 and 4 to monitor activity and help re-educate, help keep the beach clean, whatever she can do to be of assistance. And then also just give us some eyes and ears down there, because we don't have people down there all the time, but just to kind of see what kind of activity, so we can use that data in our reopening phase for 2026, hopefully.
Very good. And this will be posted on the website.
Yes.
Okay, to probably replace the current or
Correct.
amend the current rules that are on there already.
And with that being said, I did omit from my administrative report, because I didn't have it in hand yet, but we do have a trail access agreement that has been signed by, and that's just ready to be executed on our behalf. There was 3 small wording changes from last year's trail access agreement. One of them was just about the access by foot to cover the trail access road I don't have it in front of me, and I had it summarized, but I don't have the use and the access to make sure that we're, we've done our part as far as putting the signage, and now it's up to the Board of Selectmen, myself, the Parks and Rec, and the Police Department to make sure that people are using it the way that it's supposed to be, and then the rest of the responsibility is left on everybody else for their enjoyment.
We're looking on the website.
I'll have it on the website tomorrow.
Thank you.
Yes.
Do you need a motion for us to?
To sign the trail access agreement, that would be wonderful.
All right, I'll make a motion that we sign the 2025 trail access agreement for the town beach.
Second?
A motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion
You're
carries.
signing it with,
Joe and Don Fernald from the
Okay.
Fernald Family Trust.
thank you.
Well, hopefully the sun is out this weekend, so we can enjoy it.
I don't know if Philly calls it.
Temperature gets above
It's
60.
not looking very good.
Oh, and,
I committed to setting lines.
yes, thank you. I did want to acknowledge John Decker. He's volunteered his boat assistance to get the swim lanes out. So even though the
Thank you,
beach
John.
is,
If you need
even though
help,
the
let me
beach
know.
is use at your own risk, Courtney and I had discussed it, and we decided that it would probably be in our best interest to put the swim lanes out because it would keep boats from coming in and potentially beaching their boats up. So just for safety.
Is that, John?
Yeah, I gotta try and figure it out between the raindrops and.
Get your wetsuit.
What's your line?
And did the highway department remove those large trees yet?
Yes, yep, so the
Okay.
trees were removed last Thursday. There was some white pines that were from the blowdown last year that were left in the parking area. It was prohibiting probably one or two vehicles from parking off to the side. So those were removed by the highway department, and they've also gone through, I think there was one tree that fell across where the porta potties are placed. So they removed that, and they were just gonna do some general cleanup around the parking area, get rid of some limbs and some straggler trees that have been growing up and just kind of encroaching on the parking space. So I'm very thankful to the highway department to be able to dodge the raindrops and make things like that happen when they can't do routine road maintenance at this time.
That's great. On to assessing. So on the agenda, we noticed there were no, the veterans tax credits aren't on the agenda, but we do have them in the packet to sign. Is that something we can still do?
You can still do it,
Okay, I just want to get sure. So,
as long as you acknowledge if I meant the lot number, that's.
Okay.
so you want to go
No,
over first?
those first. I'm gonna do them separate because this one's a little weird.
Okay, that's, yes.
So,
Thanks for resolving that beach thing.
You're welcome.
I make a motion to accept the exemptions for map 27, lot 1C, map 37, lot 3, and map 5, lot 00010-2.
Really?
That's what it says. I can read. Usually.
I'll second that.
You want to
You know, it's a crazy,
I
crazy,
think somebody put a little extra zeros. in
I
it.
think probably they did.
It might be 10.
10-2, I would say.
10-2.
Yeah.
Hey, I just,
Read them as you see them, right?
Map 5, lot 10-2.
Sounds good.
The motion?
motion.
And I second it.
Wait a second.
Oh, second.
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, so then I'll make a motion to accept the veterans tax credit for map 20, lot 8 for part B. B, right?
Yeah.
B is the correct one.
These are the correct ones, so it's, what,
Lot 20 map, yeah.
RSA 72-28-B.
So, as stated.
There's a motion.
Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, so those are good signs.
They must be hidden in the Excel spreadsheet.
Hmm.
Because I'm like, I know they're on there. I was just looking up the agenda and I'm like, how
Yeah,
did
they were
these get
in-
cut off?
Yeah.
Because they were in the packet.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, they're on the packet. Which is why I was like. So I will make a motion to accept the elderly exemption for map 37, lot 17.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Not approve the application for elderly exemption for map 23, lot 10-1, lot 46, map 46, lot 4-10, map 46, lot 9, and map 71, lot 62.
Second that.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. These other ones, these are the ones that get rid. I will make a motion to certify the yield taxes assessed for map 76, lot 2.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
I will make a motion to accept the warrant for yield tax levy on map 76, lot 2.
Second.
And a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
I'll make a motion to accept the intent to cut wood or timber at map 2, lot 1.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor? Motion carries.
And I will make a motion to accept the application for service-connected total disability tax credit for map 70, lot 97.
And I'll second that one.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. To Green Road. Maybe this fall. And then for next, Helen, you're gonna
Did they
put,
have a building permit on that?
They do. We need a structure to assign an address. So there needs to be.
You haven't started the structure yet?
I'm sure,
It started.
I'm sure it started, but
Yeah.
usually the address doesn't
Wait.
get assigned until they're the certificate of occupancy.
Right, there are structures cited. I'm sorry.
So,
I would expect that.
special events license, is that where you're going to?
yes, so there's gonna be a special events license for the Purple 5K that you had mentioned earlier. And then we'll be doing the public hearing for the PREPA grant award fines imposed thereof for those ordinance.
And
Meeting, public hearing for road layout for Channel Street. And then public hearing on June 16th, the second for the public ways and parking, prohibiting parking in public ways.
when are we squeezing in that other ordinance?
So the review of the special event license can take place on the June 2nd meeting.
That's part of it, okay.
So you could potentially table the fee.
Yeah, I don't know that we'll be ready for that because I'm still waiting for the department heads. It still has to go through police, fire, health officer, just to make sure. It's gonna be a lot of the same details that carried forward from last year, but if I have the sign offs for it, we can act on it, but if not, then it'll be tabled.
Part of this broader research project we got going on.
Well, it's time for public comments.
Someone speaking?
So anybody for public comment, just a reminder, you've got about 3 to 4 minutes.
Sounds like we've had a meeting, but I don't see anything about an agenda for a meeting.
It was actually the statement that was presented tonight.
Right.
It's the wrong
Wasn't
date.
assigned.
It was supposed to be signed May 9th.
Okay, well, I caught the date.
Thank you. Happy March
Natasha, 189 Old Turnpike Road. I just want to thank you for opening the town beach. I'm excited. But I just had a couple questions. One thing, you had said no fishing at the beach. There's no fishing on the beach, but was always fishing allowed off to the side. So it might be just confusing for people who had fished in the past. I don't know if they're still allowed to fish between the beach and the dam. There's a little swampy area. It's kind of, just so you know, that was a thing. And as far as the guests, we're allowed to bring guests, but can they not bring their car? Because like my daughter brought her car because